All right. Hello. Good morning. It says I'm live, so I'm going to just go with it. Here we are. It's spectacular morning. It's Saturday. Sun is up and shining. In fact, let me turn this a little bit so I can see it a little better. I'm Kirsten Peck. Good morning. This is the Oasis de Artes creative zone here in Kamui, Arriba, Puerto Rico. I'm up in the mountains. I realized that I wanted to give mountain life a try here in Puerto Rico. So I moved up here. I found an incredible property and moved. So the best part of this today, I have realized I've been doing backyard tours, so I'm going to get back there in just a second. But I wanted to realize, or I wanted to talk about making life changes and how difficult it is because of so many variables that have to be taken into consideration. If you're frustrated in your life and you wish that things were different and you want to turn things around, I know that that is a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of heartache. There's a lot of wounded feelings that happen in order for a person to get to a point when they're truly like, I've had it, that's enough, I have to do something different. I know that's incredibly difficult because I see people struggling. And when I have a couple of suggestions of, hey, have you tried this or did you do this? The initial reaction is to be defensive, to be feel like you were attacked, to feel an extra uncomfort, to feel an extra cloak on you that you are hurting and you are struggling. And yes, it is kind of embarrassing when somebody sees it and is like, hey, can you try this or have you thought of that? And it doesn't always come off as sounding friendly. It comes off as feeling like an attack. And that's a really hard thing for someone who is struggling to catch themselves and say, hey, wait, hold on. They're not attacking me. That is a genuine idea. And no, I hadn't thought about that. And I do need to check myself and my hurt, anxiety to listen, think about what they said, and then consider it and maybe even try it. That's a whole other shift, which is really hard to do when you're in this mindset of I'm down, I'm frustrated, I got to figure something out. I know I was talking about this before when people said they needed a job. Yes, you're desperate. I know you need a job. But before you do that, you have to stop and really settle yourself about what are your best features? What are your talents and your gifts in your head that make you so smart? Those gifts, those passions, those different types of intelligences that the schools didn't tap into. I know the schools didn't tap into them. I was a teacher. I was there. And I know the skills that need to be taught. They're the most difficult ones that all the students don't, all the students hate these. Standard 5 and Standard 6. Reading 5, reading 6, reading teachers, hello, hello. So in this life coaching piece of this, it's a point of having to say, you know, if you're going to want to change something in your life, you're going to have to stop and you're going to have to think and then focus and pivot. And so this perspective comes into it, which is the levels of thinking, adding more dimension into your thinking, making it more higher level of a deeper context. And your points of view, instead of it just being your surface level reaction, stop. Even if it's your surface reaction that you don't like it, that too is just a surface reaction. Stop and think. What source told you something? Or what other shareholders are involved in the situation? Hypothesize what else could be going on before you make all these decisions that you know are so solid, because maybe they're not so solid because you haven't been checking your sources and you haven't been looking at the cause and the effect and the real cause and the real effect, which is what my secret is today. Okay, so that's enough of me trying to explain it. Let me now put it into action. Okay, here's why. I woke up in the middle of the night. I was up and I came out to this area here. This is where my moonlight is in the middle of the night to see it. Yes, it was beautiful. And I smelled the air. And I was like, wow, that's beautiful. It smells like nighttime jasmine or something. But it was 3 a.m, so I was sort of, I don't know, I was howling back at the dogs. I went back to bed. I went back to sleep. Okay, this morning, I wake up this morning, I come out here again. I'm like, okay, this time I hear something. It sounds like a bee. It sounds like a swarm of bees. I have a swarm of bees. What is this? So as I come outside here, let me turn this around. As I'm coming outside, and has totally blossomed. Can you hear it? Isn't that spectacular? And so let me walk around here a second. Let me step back and show you how big this is. All of it is totally in bloom. Smells spectacular back here. Covered with bees. Absolutely covered with bees. So I'm enjoying the beauty of this. I'm going to start looking for birds because I know birds are going to start to come and feed on the bees. Wonder how long it's going to last. Couple days probably. And then it's all going to fall. And I'm going to have a whole bunch of dead flowers all over the ground. So that's what's going to happen to this tree. I found another one back in the back. That's what started this morning. When I realized I had to come back online. I had to come back here to my garden. I've been ignoring my garden because I've been obsessed with my other project. Which gets me to my point. Back to my point. I know there's a lot of people that have tied their identity to politics. And I understand a lot of the reasons why. And I understand a lot of the misinformation that's been swirling around from a reading teacher's perspective. And I used to teach at the jail high school. So we would help teenagers get out of the gang. In fact, one of my students is sitting in prison in Florida for 30 years because he killed somebody from his gang. And that sweet kid, Devante, is another reason that I'm out here doing this, because it's a hard thing to give up a lifestyle that's hurting you. I know that's hard. And it's also hard for abusive relationships and domestic violence. And people that have to find that inner courage and that inner strength to say, I deserve better than this. And somebody like me is the teacher that can help you see your way out of it.
One of my early students, way back in the day, said that I believed in her when she didn't believe in herself. Yep. It's about seeing the bougainvillea and seeing the beautiful things around you, even in that hardship, even in that struggle. Because the gratitude is where the strength comes from. And making that list, excuse me, I'm not talking about Devante. So yeah, the power of making a list. Get out a piece of paper and I want you to start making a list of questions that you have. If you're considering leaving MAGA, questions for President Trump, questions for JD, questions for Marco Rubio. What is the country's future under your leadership? Because we've had a lot of broken promises. We've had a lot of corruption that you said you were going to clean up. Your family's getting richer. Let's make those questions. Because if you can make 95 questions by November 3rd, you'll decide which way are you going to go. Isn't this beautiful? Some secrets out here in the yard. Make that list. Endurance. It's power in endurance. And a reading teacher. Obsessed with the universe. I've now become obsessed with the universe even more. I love the sun. I've always loved the sun. And so let's respect ourselves. Let's be honest with ourselves. Honest with our values, our gifts, our passions and creativity. Yep. So the book's $10 on Amazon. It's easy. It's simple. I wanted to make it accessible for everybody. Go check it out. Subscribe, share, follow, you know, all that stuff. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. And I know transformations seem like they're really hard. I know it's very scary. But I've got the creative projects. I've got the magic, the power. You can do it. Gotta go. Love you. Beautiful day. All right. I gotta leave these flowers. This just is amazing to me. Absolutely amazing today. All right. Have a beautiful day. Love you guys. Thanks. Bye.